Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Scottsburg Board of Public Works and Safety. Today is December the 27th, 2023. It's 1 o'clock or 1:03 in the afternoon, and we're going to call our meeting to order now, and it begins by a roll call by Clerk Treasurer Jan Hardy.
Mary Amick.
Here.
Karen Gracious. Here. Tom Lewis.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Hardy. The next thing on our agenda this evening is the approval of the minutes from December the 11th, 2023. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I second the motion.
Karen Gracious makes a motion, seconded by Tom Lewis. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Going down into new business, we have approval of a Jefferson Street and First Street sewer extensions brought to you by the fine folks at Scottsburg Wastewater Treatment Plant, headed by the one and only Chase Hardy. You're right.
Bud McIntosh and Ronnie's wanting to finish out that parcel right there between Jefferson and First. There's no sewer there, so they're extending the main between the lots, and they just need approval for the mayor to sign off on the allocation and the permit.
Do I have a motion to,
This is,
that's on, yes, water load, yes, that's it, water load. That's your water load there. And anytime we're putting in something new like this, and I believe it's gonna be 4 houses,
Yeah.
that basically the developer has to come to the wastewater treatment plant of whatever city or utility is at to make sure they have adequate capacity for that. And what the city is saying is that we do have capacity for that, and they were asking to go forward and be able to send this to the state that we do have capacity for that.
They have all their item instructions and stuff, so they're ready to go with it.
so both of these will be covered under that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the wastewater treatment plant excess, no, that's Jefferson and First Street extension.
We're stating to the state that we have capacity for these.
Right.
So we're then asking for a motion to basically forward to the state our capacity to be able to establish service of this 4-house subdivision.
And a construction permit,
Yeah, construction, you have to go forward with construction.
that's my motion.
So we have a motion by Tom and Jan,
I'll
Lord
second.
help on this one.
I'm just gonna put
Karen
to
Gracious.
accept the
Accept.
extension.
Yes, yes. Now, now's time for questions, comments. Chase, explain what you had to do here
For the,
to get this. We basically ended up having to put a line in, and do we go down to Main Street?
no, they're 8-inch over towards South First Street, where the city set the manhole, and Bud will take it out from there, from the easement out, he'll finish building it out. And he'll submit all his results to us, to submit the item.
Now, an 8-inch sewer line is about like I don't know what, half of the door here on the scale. We don't really need 8 inch, but that's what I mean.
Anytime,
But that's, when Chase says 8 inch, it's 8 inch.
anytime it conveys fellows over, it has to be an 8-inch.
So, okay, so we'll take the vote. Anybody have any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you very much. Next we have is our convergence, brought to you by Stacy Skinner. This convergence is an integral part of our broadband. Broadband is all fiber optic, just don't just think of a radio, but it's our broadband department. So, Stacy, what you tell us?
Did you do the excess?
No, I didn't, just come back to that.
No, it was, you need to do B.
Oh, excuse me just a minute. You're a bit. Wastewater treatment excess approval, what's that?
We had some older equipment, the old MCC unit we took out of the
This
old.
is,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
bunch of panels that I need to scrap. There's an old Headworks, either, approval that's advertised for sale, but don't sell, it's scrap, it's gonna sit there.
You did the headworks that we took out of
The screen out
the one we went down?
no, that's the lift station.
Yeah.
The other one.
Oh, the headworks, yeah.
The rest is just miscellaneous stuff in the old plant that we hadn't got to scrap the last round.
So we declaring this as excess and allowing sale or scrapping as the need of right.
What we've taken is basically pieces that were still working with the old plant when it was shut down. We shut the plant down and basically that moved probably while we came online on May of '22. We were probably switched over out of that December, maybe January,
Probably, yeah.
somewhere in through there. So we haven't used it since that time, but it's still a piece of equipment. If you've got an older plant like that and can use it, we want to sell it and give you a great deal.
And we have no use for it in the
No.
future for our plant. Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve this excess as illustrated in these pictures.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to go forward and put on auction and or scrap our wastewater approval, our wastewater treatment.
I'll second.
Karen Grisham seconds that. Any questions on this? Chief, you got anything else to add?
Nope.
Sorry, I missed a second, sorry. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. That, you still have all those pumps up by the dog pen too?
No, we scrapped all that first round. All that stuff's gone.
So, these are just old plants that had served their time. So, and that is taken to recycle centers, the money is paid and it goes into our general fund, with our clerk treasurer. Now, let me introduce to you again, the one and only Stacy Smith.
What this is we actually signed into this last year. It's actually Converge, and it's the same company that does our city backups for the IT department, for the city data and everything. But that's where we got the servers and everything that we did last year. This is a customer care support. It doesn't cost anything to be in the agreement. The thing is that we need it yearly signed into, so that if we have some type of scenario that happens where we need to have a different expertise or something, we're not scrambling to get the paperwork done, but it outlines all the rates and everything in it, but it's the same agreement we signed last year, so it's been reviewed before, just needed approval of signature into it for this year.
I make the motion, we approve this.
Tom Lewis makes the motion to approve the convergence agreement. This is a 3-year agreement.
It's yearly.
Yearly.
This is, you're thinking of the Calix one. Yeah, that was the last word works. This is Converge. It's just an annual support that we do not pay into unless we utilize it, but the paperwork is in place so that because if we need it, it's probably gonna be a big deal. You know, if we needed an emergency, I don't wanna deal with paperwork, so it's best to have that all in place.
Sorry, this is our emergency backup people. We lose something.
I'll second.
So, motion by Tom Lewis to go forward to this contract, seconded by Karen. There's a question, that's what I'm thinking about, that's what question, one of the questions. So basically, as you understand, this is basically technical assistance.
Is this, the rates in this pretty much consistent with other?
Yeah, because it's pretty much it's during office hours and emergency if it's after hours and things like that, so the rates are standard with it.
Standard with industry.
With industry part of that, yeah.
And these are the people that we've used, so we want to.
And they know the system, they know how to pull the data, so we're not reinventing a wheel, you know, and something like that.
Good. So, we have a motion and a second, so now let's take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Aye. So, I'm not opposed. I was short. So,
Thank you.
sorry, thank you. Unanimous, thank you very much. Yeah, exactly. I thought I ate enough sugar. utility, bill penalties for August and September. This was our, time that we brought our new software online. And we all said there's gonna be some bumps and bruises, first 2 or 3 months. Some folks didn't get, their bill till late, some folks, you know, there were just differences. And so what we ended up doing is saying, for all these folks who now have got late penalties on it because you got your bill 2 days ago or 3 days ago, you got a question about it. So what we're asking is a motion to forgive those penalties for August and September 2023. So we kind of had we were getting into this process, and we have a new billing people that came out and they didn't get the bills out quite fast enough, and we don't bill ourselves, it's a subcontracted out, and whole new companies and things like that.
So by October, everything was smooth then?
Basically, by October, things were all becoming like.
Everything's on the same schedule as it was before as of October, but September and August, they went out by the 1st, but people didn't receive them by then.
Okay.
It was like the 7th, 8th,
Yeah.
when I got mine.
Yeah, and it was also some mailing too. I don't know what was going on at that time, but some of the mailing was slow as well. So it was just a factor of lots of things. And it just didn't give people enough time to get in here with their payments.
Memorial Day was that week, that one.
Was it? I couldn't remember what the
Memorial Day.
holiday was. Yeah.
And so mail were just delayed, and they were within the parameter of getting out, but it was at the very end of the parameter. They were used to having mailed in the first part of the parameter, and so just things like that.
Yeah.
And this was discussed in a Board of Works meeting, and I know
Yeah.
council, or Board of Works looked at it, that they would look at it
Yeah.
case by case, but it was, you know, so many of them that, yeah, they just are doing this, we're trying to close a lot of stuff for the year end.
So, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the removing the penalties for August and September.
And I'll second.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to get penalties on August and September on our utility bills due to new implementation. Karen Grisham seconds that. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Thank you very much. Next is the 2024 attorney contract approval. That's by Ms. Hardy.
Okay. This is the attorney's contract for legal services, and it's basically at his, you know, what he'll be compensated, what he's eligible for, and then what is outside of his contract that he bills the city for separately. Pretty much consistent with what this board would have approved for him last year. This then, it expires on December the 31st, and then on a month-to-month basis after that.
I didn't see much change in the verbiage. I did see a change in the rate. Rate's up about 15%.
It's still cheaper than
Yeah.
He
the
asked-
merge people.
Exactly. He is.
Just a little bit.
So,
I'll make a motion to approve the contract for legal services for 2024.
I'll second it.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to go forward with the attorney's contract, and Karen Grisham seconds. Any other questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Unanimous, thank you very much. Next is sidewalk cleaning contract for approval by Jane Hardy.
Okay, and what this is, I'm sure that copy was in your packet. Earlier in the year, this board approved the ANS pressure washing to clean sidewalks, and winter got us, and what we're asking for is to approve, he will get started on this as soon as weather will allow. We have listed, a few streets that we have found, or not streets, excuse me, sidewalks, that we definitely know we want him pressure washing. So we ask approval and, to not to exceed 40,000 and do as many of the streets, sidewalks, I'm on left field here, sorry, as many of the sidewalks as we can get done to make our city look cleaner.
So
And-
they had not done any of it?
They had done a few, yeah, they did from here down to Craig Park, and I don't know where else, Jill, but these looked really nice here. Those sidewalks were salvageable. But some of these areas now that we know he'll be doing are over in the area. There's few intermittent sidewalks on Cherry Street, over around Bond and Wardell. The mayor, we want the 56, the one on the south side, because the north side was recently poured. So we know those are some of the ones that he'll be doing.
If we can rehabilitate them, that's what we want you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the ones he's already done, he's already been paid for?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
This is just,
This is,
The ones
yes,
he
and, yes, and this is in the budget.
And here's the process, they go through, and if there's grass and sod that's come over that, they clean all those off. They edge them, and then they come through and they put like a chemical down, and their machine's really neat. It's got high pressure, but it's kind of got like a scrubbing type deal in this. And then they come and rinse it all off, and they look brand new. So anything that we can rehabilitate, we try to do. And you'll see the streets there listed too.
yeah,
So,
I'll make a motion to approve the contract rollover.
It's agreement, contract, yeah, it's,
Yeah,
you know.
whatever.
I'll second.
Says contract there.
Tom makes a motion to accept or go forward with the sidewalk cleaning contract rollover. Is there a second? Karen Brish seconds. Any questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you very much. Next is the approval of our animal shelter quotes.
Will you move that one down, Mayor, just because I just got another one I'm still working?
Okay, let's
Please,
put
thank
that
you.
down. We're gonna hold on that, we'll get that the last one. The next, we're gonna go to H, is the pay request of approval of number 3, retainage for All-Star Pavement Sidewalk Improvement Project. All-Star Paving did all of our sidewalks in the first round of bidding. They did an excellent job. There's always a retainage, a holdback for them, and they're asking for that holdback now.
So it's all done.
It's all done.
It's all done, it's been approved. The letter from the engineer, and the retainage is $25,200.17.
I'll make a motion, we approve paying the retainage.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to pay retainage on the approval number 3.
I'll second.
Sharon Grish seconds. Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you very much. Next is the pay request approval, number 1, for the Vire sidewalk improvements on phase 2. So that is basically.
It's like 90%, what our engineer said, it's on the West Wardell and Bond Street at 90% completion, and the engineer has checked this and approved us going ahead and paying Mr. Byers $75,762.
Is there a motion to?
Is there, well, it's showing retainage here, retained 7,500.
Usually it's about 10, we
76.
have about 10% retainage, usually is what we do.
But we're paying, we're not holding the retainage on this?
That's what I have gotten is the
Here's-
amount to pay.
The first page is the invoice, the second page is what she's paying out. So the
So
difference
is that
is the
showing retainage on
retainage.
that? I just went like invoice.
It should be 68.
Great, great catch.
If we're
Yeah,
holding the retainage.
right. It does appear, it was 75, yeah. I went by, I have to look at that check. So, I did not have that in front of me, I just had his invoice, so.
So
It's a
he's
total-
really not wanting us to retain it. If his invoice is 75.
Right, but we're gonna retain, so,
The engineer is wanting you to.
yeah, this one,
The invoice came from
yeah.
the sidewalk person, but the engineer sent the second page.
We're gonna we will pay $68,185.80.
Okay.
Right, and we will have retainage of 10%. So, if you don't care, Tom, I'm gonna keep
Yeah.
this one.
I'll make the motion, we approve the payment less the retainage.
Tom Lewis makes a motion, making the payment with the retainage
I'll second.
amount, stipend, held back. Karen Gracious seconds that. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous, thank you. Approval, J is for approval of the clerk treasurer, Jan Hardy, to sign railroad grant and submit. You're up
Yes.
again.
I have a letter where the city of Scottsburg was awarded a grant, and what this grant is 100% reimbursable, and it is for the railroad crossings here in the city, that they send their people in and mark all those crossings and freshen those up. I think that happens every 4 years. So I was contacted by the gentleman that is always taking care of this for the city, who's with the railroad, and we were awarded $19,600. So I would just like approval, and usually the mayor signs these, but the people that sent it had my name on it as to sign for it, because I've been working with Mr. Secor. So I would just ask approval for me to sign that and enter into this agreement to get our crossings updated,
So the grant.
crossing markings.
Grant comes from the state, it works?
Mm-hmm,
Okay,
yes,
so we pay them and we get a grant?
we get reimbursed, yes.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve this.
Tom Lewis makes a motion to go forward and sign for a railroad grant.
I'll second.
Karen Gracious seconds that. Any other questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. Now we have,
I'm up again.
yeah, you're up again.
Okay.
Rollover days.
Yes, it has come to our attention in payroll that on July the 10th, we got approval, and we had explained to this board at that time that the mayor's 2 staff employees had worked a lot of extra hours during Mayberry. At that time, we failed to include Emily Keller. We just got approval for Jill Baker. So I would like the approval that we give her the 25.5 hours that she had that same week that Jill was given, because there was no way they could use those in the 2-week period, just to include Emily.
So then these are rolling over till next year? Is
Uh,
that-
She's using them, and that's kind of what brought it to our attention, that, and Jill and I went back and listened to the tape again last night to be sure it wasn't, from on my error as far as what the minutes, so we did listen to that to confirm, but none of those would be rolled over, because she's planning on taking those. And that was kind of what called it to us, because of payroll this week, we saw that in there.
And both
So-
of these ladies have worked tirelessly, not only on the regular job, but now when they have something extra like this, it really puts a crunch on them. So they have.
They're kind of event
Melina
planners.
said the same thing.
Yeah. Well, and we did the same thing for Melina and Stacy with the implementation of NISC for just those 2 weeks, but they have worked lots of extra hours even after that point, so.
So I'm a little confused just with the terminology. You're saying that we didn't account for.
We did not include Emily in the motion.
So what's the rollover? Is the rollover not rolling over till next year? or
No,
what?
this was an oversight, so we'll get to and this we did not find until after the agenda was done to call it a rollover. It's just, this is basically an oversight at the time it was presented on July the 10th.
So that's really.
So
this.
we just need your approval so we have it on file, on record, because Marita has copies of those minutes, to put with payroll in case State Board of Accounts pulls those as a claim. So yes,
I'll make
if
the
that
motion.
answers it.
What was it, 25?
It was 25.5.
Hours, is that hours?
That was in hours.
Yeah, I'll make that.
I'll
motion.
second.
Okay.
Tom Lewis makes the motion for the rollover on days, for Jill and Emily, and Karen Grish will second that. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
No, not for Jill and Emily, just Emily in this motion.
It was. Okay.
Yes, because we had already done
Okay,
we gave approval, but did not include Emily.
gotcha.
Now, this is carryover, Tom, that I'm gonna be requesting, and this, again, is for the utility office. And as the mayor has stated, they have worked tirelessly, to get our new software going, and they've had some people out for sickness and this and that. It just was not in the plan that they get that in, and usually we do not ask to roll, don't do that. The handbook doesn't allow for that, but we're asking them this would be not in compliance with what our handbook says. So if these claims again were drawn, we would have your approval. And we're asking for Melina Jeffries to roll over 39 hours of vacation, and for Lauren to roll over 36.5 hours of vacation time.
Okay. What about, it says here, Jan and Mayor?
The mayor has some, for his staff, or,
Did you do
So is
mine?
that included in
you
this?
want me to,
Did you do mine for you yet?
well, I didn't get approval because, he's gonna approve to carry it over,
Oh, okay, sorry.
yeah.
So,
And I can go ahead and
Just go ahead.
present,
Just go ahead.
present what, for all of this, and again, it's a rollover
right.
for payroll, just so we can show you all approved. And it would be 16 hours for Jill Baker of personal and 56 hours of vacation time.
Okay.
Now, that might appear to be a lot for her to be rolling over, but the problem being, we did not find that when she earned her extra 40 hours, which she would have earned those in January, my office failed to include those in her PTO for the year. I think we were rolling the year over and we just overlooked it. So another employee mentioned to her, and she's thinking, well, you shouldn't have more time than I've got. But, so that was in error. So that's why, had we not have messed up and not caught it until that she would have only had 16 hours. And then for Emily, we have, she just earned vacation time in September. And so we're asking to carry over 40 hours of vacation time for her.
And then the other that we approved for her, is that over too?
No, because she has used that.
Oh, okay.
That's just for the minutes to show that she was left out in that original motion. And then
Is that right?
it's,
Yes.
yes, because when Jill stopped by my office last night at 7 o'clock and I said, we uncovered something. And she's like, so that's like I said, we were listening to the tapes last night at 7 or whatever to be sure.
And then is there something for the mayor too?
No, that will take care of all.
Basically, there's four here. There's Melina 39, Lauren 36 and a half, Jill 40 plus 16 was 56, and Emily was the 25 plus the 40. And you've already expended the
You
20.
three agree with the numbers that she stated? Okay.
Yes, yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve for a little, or carry over.
Carry over,
whatever
okay.
you want to call it.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second by Karen Grish. Any other questions about this? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Thank you very much, unanimous there.
Yeah. And once the employees have been here a little longer, till their first 2 years, they earn days on their anniversary date. They earn extra, so when you're hired, or, later in the year, it's harder to get those hours in.
Well, I know they work really hard at Mayberry, so.
They did that, they did the Christmas parade, they worked extra for the
Fest.
festival in the park, and, yeah, so. I think that comes out of any else deemed in your job
25.5.
description, and anything else the mayor says to do. You want me to do the claims approval and then come back to Jill?
Sure.
On that, okay. I would just be open for a motion to pay the claims as presented.
I will make the motion to accept the claims as presented.
I'll second that.
Karen Brishes makes the motion, Thomas approves the claims. Any other questions about any of them? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're gonna boomerang now back to the one and only Julie.
I'm gonna let Jan come in on this a little bit too, but I was asked to get quotes for, the animal shelter, a new animal shelter.
A new one?
Yes, the, council had discussed giving ARP money, towards an animal shelter. And, as generous as it was, obviously things are expensive, so it wasn't enough. So Jan sent out an email to the council a couple weeks ago, once we kind of started getting a ballpark figure of just how much it was gonna be. And requested that since we had saved some money with paving the fire department parking lot, that they had given ARP money, if they would let us have the leftovers from that and put it towards what they had already given us. And she got replies back that they would. So we put that in the pot. And then I believe Denny has got some money in his year-end
Leftover
budget
is 2023 money.
that she's trying to put in the pot also. So we wanted to try to get this quote in today so that she can get this money moved over into 24 to help get this building up. So,
So are they tearing the old building down?
yes,
Is it
Yeah.
in bad shape?
it's
Bad shape.
Where will the new one be built?
right where that one is. He'll house the dogs in the barn or whatever you wanna call it, right there until, but, I mean, it's a quick build. It's
Well,
whole,
My mistake, I was equating it with the dog park.
Oh,
It's the
sorry.
animal shelter.
Yeah,
it's an animal shelter, yeah.
that's by the old.
I was gonna say, the dog park building looks pretty good.
No,
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah,
yeah. it's
no,
the
that's
animal
two
shelter.
different things.
All right.
Jill, could I add one thing?
Yes.
And on council's behalf, when they were looking at the ARP funds that we have, they chose to use some of those for this because they know it's needed. But we have such a great partnership with Austin and the county on how we pay for that by us using our ARP funds, there is no obligation from the other entities to help pay that portion of it. So that's 76,000 is what we're looking at from ARP money.
Remind me what ARP means.
It's the American Rescue Plan
Okay.
that we got 1.4 million. And that's up to council's discretion as to the projects they want to fund.
Okay.
So with that being said, we were hoping, the reason I did quotes is because legally anything under 150,000, I just have to provide 3 quotes. I do not have to get bids. So, Iker Construction, came in at 163,525. Ace Metal Sales came in at 148,727. And, Complete Construction came in at 149,230. So, I will say Ace Metal Sales, there's 2 things that's different in these. Ace Metal Sales is with, the concrete walls, as you had talked about, Mayor. And the city is taking the building down. And Complete Construction is not with the concrete walls, and they are taking the building down. Ace Metal Sales, the gentleman, Mr. Peters, has spent a lot of time drawing this out. He has visited Salem Animal Shelter several times has talked to them several times to try to see what has worked over there. They have built over a $600,000 new animal shelter over there. So it's the board's pleasure, but we just need it, and this could go down. These are estimates, especially for plumbing and electric, but
How much was the one that had the brick walls? Were they the
148,727.
So they're the lowest?
They're the lowest.
So
Yeah.
it's concrete walls.
Well, and here's the thing. What we have there now is we have a galvanized chain link fence going down to the floor.
Mhm.
And that's what they were gonna put back up. But my position is that if we built like a 2 to 3 foot, base and then bring that down to the base, then to me, water would not be that, you're
So
constantly.
it's like 3 or 4 foot tall concrete wall.
Yeah, probably 4,
Chain link.
2 to 3 feet, 2 to 3 feet high.
Just have a little barrier down there.
It's
It's
just
just probably easier to clean and everything too.
That was my concern, is cleanability, and should an animal have something, if you're spraying it, it's not gonna get over into another cage. So that was the whole idea, that we were contemplating a solid foundational wall, as it were, not foundational, but a separational wall between each of those.
So the structure itself is a metal building?
Structures and metal building.
Pre-engineered metal building?
Nah, it just kind of a pole barn. Yeah. What's happened here is we have, because Scott County has a lot of quicksand, we've got a quicksand thing right there, so some of that floor is starting to come in.
Can you see this, Tom?
I can see it from closer.
And I think what scared Denny too, who's our, humane officer, was, he was very gracious to get the ARP money, but he had also heard from Salem what they spent on theirs,
That was scared off.
that scared us all,
of us.
didn't it?
And put my pacemaker back on.
Mayor, I think that, if I can make a correction too on that, sinkhole, that's part of the sewer plant's old discharge from years ago.
Thank you so much.
Let's get out of that.
Thank you so much.
But that'd be an easy fix, I think, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we have to put hydraulic concrete in there or something like that.
Yeah,
So I
block
thought-
it up, concrete.
so I thought we did, yeah. The boys take their overage down to you. It's a deal.
So are they
We
gonna
won't charge
engineer
you.
this?
That's Mr. Peters' drawing.
I know, but, I mean, this is 62 foot long.
Yeah, they make those. That Ace is who manufactures those every day.
So it's already engineered. It's a
Pre-
prefab.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Is that wood trusses or those? No,
No, it's
Steel
all wood.
trusses.
No, it's all wood, is it not?
25 gauge steel roofing.
I'm a
I need
lot
the
of
quotes,
things,
Peter.
but I'm not a
Yeah.
After Christmas dinner, and I got quotes for you.
Yeah, she did quote,
And
she's
I'll
like,
get that
yeah,
for you.
it's December 27th.
I don't see the concrete wall on here.
It's separate. It's a separate quote.
Oh, this is.
He
this
has to
is-
get a masonry. That's just the outside of the building
Okay.
This is something that I came up and asked.
after.
So is it concrete or
Which
masonry?
part?
The
Probably block.
4 foot.
It's block.
Block.
He asked for block.
Painted block.
He asked for painted block walls.
Okay.
So he had to go find a masonry after he asked that. So that's a separate.
Okay. Did we already make a motion?
No,
When you have plans, you give this
So
to
you
the
want,
structural engineer.
you want to go with the house that's
Sure.
got the masonry walls on, right?
Which is
That
the
should
lowest,
measure.
I mean,
this
this
is
is,
the lowest, is that the lowest quote?
no. Oh,
If you both have masonry walls,
the lowest quote does not include a masonry wall.
Say again?
The lowest quote does not have the brick It's a heated building.
It's a
It's a
heated
heated
building.
building.
You know, we had to,
Say it would stay cooler though.
Outdoor dogs.
They have a door, they have a doggy door, they go right out. They really do. They have little chairs there that they sit in. Huh?
Through the block wall?
No, the outside won't have a block wall. It's just an inside block.
Oh, the inside.
Just an inside block.
Why inside and not outside?
Well, good question. Didn't think of that one. I just assumed we would not have. That's a good question.
well, hopefully those kind of issues could be worked out
Yeah.
afterwards
Yeah,
if
we
we
just-
accept a quote.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right now, there's no
We
separation.
can always, there's change orders.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we've had some
Okay,
animals.
so, but back to the question, who are we recommending to hire?
Who are you,
Ace Metal Sales.
who are your three, give me the numbers again.
Ace Metal Sales is at 148,727. Iker is at 163,525. And Complete Construction is at 149,230.
So 148 is the low.
Is the lowest.
And
Yeah,
Yes.
$500.
And that's the one with the CMU walls,
The 148 does have cement walls, block.
but the city has to take the old building down,
Correct.
so there's an extra expense there.
That's not like this one. We've got.
So we're gonna recommend 148 Ace there, Ace, is that what you call them? You okay with that?
Yeah, whichever, whatever you want.
I'll make a motion, we accept the quote from Ace Sales, whatever they're called, pending actual bid,
Ace Metal Sales,
Ace Metal Sales.
not bid, quote.
We're accepting the quote,
Yes.
and we're gonna contract with him.
Yes.
That won't be the actual price, because that'll give us a more of a full price, is that what you understood?
Once the work starts, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Does
you.
that make sense?
We're accepting the
So Tom Lewis makes the motion to accept Ace
metal
Metal
sales,
Sales.
148,727.
Not to exceed 147.27, because then Jill said it could be lower.
Can't be
Sure.
higher than 150.
Mhm.
It cannot be higher than 150 because
Right.
of the limitation we
quotes.
have. Right.
For me to get a quote, correct.
So we have a motion, and a second, any other questions?
Did you second it?
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye. Now, let's go back up to, we just did that, so we
Yeah.
just did that, we're done. So, one announcement, the city did purchase a street sweeper.
Oh, good.
So an Elgin street sweeper. It is a used street sweeper, but we can now begin washing your streets this summer. We can, you'll see it going, not only just going around the square and the back lot here, but we're going to be doing US 31, US 56 through town. So be able to clean everything up and get all the sand and things on the lawn. So it's got a 72-inch brush, 2 side brushes, and it's got water, and you can hold 3 cubic yards, so yeah, very positive. Good. So another process to clean up Scottsboro.
There you go.
So, anything else? It is with much pain that we have to say goodbye to 2023. And with that, this will probably be our last thing.
Let's remind everyone that in '24, our Board of Works meetings will be moved to Wednesdays at 1:30.
Wednesdays at 1:30,
Wednesdays at 1:30.
still the second and fourth
Yes.
Wednesdays.
And at this time, we'll still
What
be
day is
in
that?
this property here
Second,
First,
third,
Wednesdays,
until notified.
second, third Wednesday, second and fourth
second,
Wednesdays
fourth Wednesday.
1:30.
at 1:30.
okay, got it.
Anything else? We have a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Motion by Ms. Gracious, we are now closed for our meeting today.